So Wave 3 dropped and I'm loving it. We got some amazing tracks. Honestly, this wave is probably the best one we've gotten so far. It demolishes Wave 1 and 2. All the tracks are amazing and there's really not a bad one. So anyways, in this video, as you can probably tell, I'm going to be ranking all 8 of the tracks we got in Wave 3. Before we get started though, as I said, I would go back to my predictions after each wave comes out and talk about which ones I got right and which ones I got wrong. This also has a scoring system, so I get 4 points for guessing the exact placement of the track in each cup, 3 points for guessing the correct cup, 2 points for guessing the correct wave, and 1 point for just guessing the track in general. So for London Loop, I get 1 point because I predicted it, just the wrong wave. Boo Lake, I get 0 points because I didn't predict Boo Lake. Rock Mountain, I get 1 point because I predicted it, just in the wrong wave. Maple Treeway, I get 1 point because I predicted it, but in the wrong wave. Berlin Byways, I get 1 point, predicted it, wrong wave. Peach Gardens, I get 0 points because I didn't predict Peach Gardens. Merry Mountain, I get 2 points because I predicted it in the right wave, just the wrong cup. And 3DS Rainbow Road, I get 0 points because I did not predict it. So that adds up to 6 points out of a possible 32. And so far, tallying all the points I've gotten from Wave 2 and 3 so far, I have 11 points out of a possible 64. Not doing great, but to be honest, I didn't expect to do too well anyways. So wanted to get that out of the way because I said I would do it. Now let's move on to the rankings. Don't get me wrong, I love all the changes they made to this track. They made it so much more appealing and just more haunted, and I really like it, especially the new underwater section, which is really cool. However, this doesn't stop the track from being a little bit boring. It is still a GBA track at the end of the day, and there's not much to it. Again, I do like all the work put into this track, but it's still just okay. There's really not much you have to look out for, and it's kind of just a boring track. London Loop is okay and all, but it isn't anything we haven't seen before. I mean, Paris Promenade, Tokyo Blur, New York Minute, Sydney Sprint, they all have a very similar feel to London Loop, and it's nothing really new. What sets London Loop apart, though, is the amount of chain chomps there are. In the first 2 laps, they aren't really doing anything, besides being chain chomps, but on the 3rd lap, they get set off leash and they start kind of moving around the track, which is a big obstacle you gotta watch out for. It does shake up the track a little bit, not gonna lie. Other than that though, London Loop isn't anything we haven't seen before. While Berlin Byways does suffer from the same issue London Loop does, it at least shake things up a bit more with the cars and the womps and the catchy music. Other than that though, there's really not much else to say about Berlin Byways that wasn't said about London Loop. Peach Gardens to me has always been a fairly underrated track. I personally think it's pretty fun, and I was kind of excited to see it finally be remade in HD. And this remake did not disappoint. All the hedges finally look amazing. They no longer look blocky like they did in Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart Wii, and they even added a backwards section. What I mean by that is, for the last lap, instead of doing it normally, you actually do the track backwards because it redirects you so that way you drive backwards. And it's really cool and a very nice touch. It's very similar to what they did with Calamari Desert in Wave 2. Tracks like this is what's making me excited for future waves. I can't wait to see what they do in the future. Rock Mountain is probably the only track I have complaints about when it comes to the graphics. All the rocks look very textureless, and it looks like it came right out of Mario Kart Tour. Anyways, with that said, Rock Mountain is still just as awesome as it's always been. The track itself is very fun, as always. The gliding section's really cool and even more fast-paced, and the upward section is now an anti-gravity, so there are even more speed boosts for you to take. Honestly, I really like this track, and I'm glad it was remade, because it's a lot of fun. Merry Mountain is probably the only track from Tour I actually wanted to see get remade. Personally, I've always liked this one. It's very fun, and I thought with Mario Kart 8's controls it'd work very well, and it does. It's even fitting because now that we're in December, it's very Christmassy and just reminds me of the fact that it's Christmas, and I like that. So anyways, I'm really glad this one was remade. There's a lot going on with this track. There's a lot of different shortcuts you can take, a lot of different tricks you can do. There's a half pipe, which is fun. And all in all, it's just really, really fun. Of course Maple Treeway is close to #1 on the list. What did you expect? It's Maple freaking Treeway. It's an instant fan favorite, and it's no secret why. Maple Treeway is one of the most iconic tracks in Mario Kart history. Whether it's the giant cannon, all the leaves that spawn items, or the big wigglers that always get in your way no matter what you do, this track is one of the absolute best. The music's very soothing, and it honestly goes well with the kind of more real life music kind of feel. And the track itself also looks really nice. It got a pretty decent makeover, and it's really cool to see this in HD. This hands down was one of the best parts of this wave, but the track at #1 was just a little bit better. Yeah, I think you all knew this was coming. 3DS Rainbow Road at #1. What else would it be? Not only is it a Rainbow Road, it's 3DS Rainbow Road! The best one! Not only did this track get a huge makeover, but it still plays exactly the same. And that's a good thing, because I wouldn't want this to be any different. It's already too perfect. And the makeover obviously made things better. The road itself even looks good, the skybox is really cool, all the planets look amazing. This track is phenomenal. Honestly, I love this track. Especially the remake, of course, because that's the one we're talking about. And the music as well. I didn't think it'd be possible, but they actually made it sound better than it did in Mario Kart 7. They went full on EDM, and it works phenomenally well. It's perfect. This track honestly couldn't get any better than it is right now. Well, we got some amazing tracks in this wave. It's definitely the best one we've gotten so far, and it's going to be hard to top it in Wave 4. But I'm still pretty excited for what Wave 4 is going to have to offer. I'm just excited in general for what the rest of the Booster Course Pass will look like in the coming year. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you all in my next video, my Nintendo fans. Peace out!